The co-main event for UFC 195 is a heavyweight bout between Stipe Miocic and Andrei Arlovski. I like the stylistic matchup but hate the fight because I'm a huge Andrei Arlovski fan, but at the same time, I've really enjoyed the success that Stipe has been having. However, I'm not making a pick in this video, so all is well. I'm Tyler and you're watching Rapid MMA. Just a few things to note before we get started. Stipe Miocic will be holding a 3-inch reach advantage over Arlovski. This will probably be a title eliminator bout since Stipe is ranked number 3, Andrei is ranked number 2. Not that these rankings are reliable, but they give us a general idea where they fit in. Obviously they're at the top and it's an important factor because without a doubt, when a fighter knows they're next in line for the title shot, they tend to fight much more conservatively, so we'll keep that in mind when we talk about their strategies. Andrei Arlovski may not have had the best career, but he's really fought some of heavyweight's most elite fighters, with wins over current UFC champion Fabricio Verdum, current number 1 ranked light heavyweight Anthony Rumble Johnson, Frank Mir, Travis Brown, Roy Nelson, Ben Rothwell, and the list goes on and on. It should be no surprise that Andrei has reached the top of the heavyweight division since returning to the UFC. Andrei in the past has had a very explosive style, but we really haven't seen it that much except for in the Travis Brown fight, and even then he wasn't as reckless, so I'll only be examining his fights since his return. There really isn't too much to analyze though with Andrei. He's much more aware of how important range has become in his fights, and his footwork seems to be getting better. This can probably be credited to his training over at Jackson Winklejohn in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I'd classify Andrei as more of a counter striker, similar to Stipe. He's looking to land that right hand. In his recent fights, we've seen small glimpses of front kicks too, another development that may be attributed to his time over at Jackson Winklejohn. This is the memorable first round against Travis Brown. You see him triggering the right hand when Travis comes in. The second time around, Andrei throws an uppercut, or maybe it's a shovel punch, then triples up on it. Travis just leans his face right into it. You see Travis backpedaling and a glimpse of recklessness from Andrei that we've seen in the past as he sprints after him with his chin wide open. A little later you see Andrei feint or lean in, and Travis reacts exactly how Andrei wants. He leans back, measures, and attacks. Here's a small, kinda lazy front kick from Andrei. I think he throws it either in this fight again, or maybe it was against Frank Mir, and it was much better looking in that fight, but I figured I'd show it right here since it's in this fight anyway. To finish the fight, Andrei measures out with the left, comes under with the uppercut, and puts Travis away. Andrei's hands are quicker than most in the heavyweight division, and his timing is pretty decent too. Stipe Miocic has been a multi-sport athlete throughout his life, competing in baseball, football, wrestling, and boxing. He was an NCAA Division I wrestler and also a Golden Gloves champion. His style is very much wrestler-boxer, as you'd expect, but his athleticism is really what gives his opponents problems. For MMA, Stipe has pretty good boxing. I wouldn't say it's the best, but the foundations are there. He leaves himself open to a few things, but he has a sharp right hand. That's how he won his first few fights. Let's check out Stipe's fight against Phil Defree. Phil comes in with wild strikes, no discipline whatsoever, and is oblivious to the fact that Stipe is looking for the counter right hand, even though he cracks him with it right away. Stipe just hardly leans back, blocking Phil's initial strike with his left arm and catching the fist with the right hand and returning with a right straight down the pipe. Very sharp hands. Same thing here, Phil is throwing wild, and Stipe backs off, plants, and throws the counter. A missed uppercut, but nonetheless, Phil keeps chasing him. Stipe cuts off to the right, throws the right hand again, and since Phil is recklessly chasing him down, he basically helps Stipe by pushing his momentum right into Stipe's hand. Phil's stance is completely terrible, and it's over. Another example is Stipe versus Fabio Maldonado. Stipe is throwing these jabs, but that's really just a pressure to get Fabio to throw. And when he does, he throws a decent overhand right and left, but Stipe's wide stance allows him to lean back just out of the way to slip and counter with his right hand. I can't tell if he lands that, but Stipe's left hook slaps him right in the face. Stipe goes barreling in for the kill, but very wisely backs off. He takes his time, and he throws a right when he sees the opening. He's pretty cerebral compared to a lot of fighters. He's able to see those openings, he's able to gauge that distance and range, and he has the timing. Especially when you're just using the basic 1-2 in the heavyweight division, it can be very effective if you just time it right. Another effective technique Stipe enjoys is the high crotch single leg takedown. Now, bear with me on this slide. I know we're talking about Joey Beltran, and his takedown defense is nothing to write home about, but we're highlighting some of Stipe's techniques that he uses multiple times over the course of his career. Pretty basic stuff, Joey coming in with his combination, and Stipe so simply steps back, then ducks under a left hand. He grabs the lead leg with both arms right above the knee. He drives his shoulder into the hip and turns Joey away from the supporting leg and dumps him down. We see this several times and it works very well. This also was effective against Mark Hunt by picking him apart on the feet, then taking him down, letting him up, then taking him down again, basically just exhausting Hunt, and capitalized. Stipe is very good at understanding range and movement. He moves like a lightweight with his footwork. If there's one knock on Stipe, it's his head movement. Although it's good, he is a little lazy with it, and you see him getting caught with hooks and jabs. He'll slip and counter sometimes, but usually he'll block an incoming strike with his forearms to try to parry. Hopefully we see a little more of his head off the center line in his fight against Andrei Arlovski. Last thing to note is this cardio. For the most part, in 3-round fights, Stipe will hold the cardio advantage. Perhaps his output is lower as far as striking, but he moves a lot, and that can be taxing for most heavyweights. Despite Andrei having a very long career, his style could only work for so long. The striking of heavyweights will be the last to evolve, and that's why he's been able to have a successful career. The best thing he could have done was go to Jackson Winks, because we're seeing a cautious or more cerebral approach by Andrei. He still can win with the tools he has, but you can tell they've been working on his range and his timing. I wouldn't be surprised if Jackson and Mike Winklejohn worked a lot more on kickboxing in this fight. Stipe hasn't really faced someone with a head kick game in the UFC. If Andrei times him right, he could really catch Stipe off guard with a head kick or probably a few body kicks. This is heavyweight, so any real clean strike can change the complexion drastically. I wonder if Andrei tries to take this to the ground too, because I don't think Stipe is that good off of his back. At least the little we've seen isn't that good. And assuming that he was mostly a wrestler, and wrestlers don't really like to be on their back, I can imagine him kind of not knowing what to do. I don't know how far along he is as far as jiu-jitsu, so we're kind of left in limbo there. But I think if Andrei could take it to the ground, he could find some success there as well. I think if Stipe keeps doing what he's doing, he should perform well in this fight. He definitely needs to be on his game though, because he can't be pressured like he was against Dos Santos. Mixing in takedowns and maybe using a power double leg should benefit him well. As long as he stays patient and utilizes his movement, I think he'll find what he's looking for in the stand-up game. In summary, I think there are many ways this fight can go. If this is a title eliminator bout, which I think it is, expect some hesitation on both sides early on. I have a hard time seeing this one going to decision, but it's possible in these kind of fights. Nonetheless, it'll be interesting to see how these two match up. Now, I don't do predictions anymore in the breakdown video, but if you're interested in that, please subscribe. I will be coming out with a prediction video here very soon. As always, thank you for watching. Hit me up on Twitter at RapidMMA. Leave a comment down below with who you think will win, and don't forget to subscribe. That will help me a lot. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.